Sometimes your body knows the truth about a person long before your mind is ready to accept it. You may keep telling yourself, I'm just stressed, I'm overthinking, or maybe I'm the problem. But what if your body is reacting to the emotional environment you're living in? Welcome back to TF. Today, we're talking about the signs your body may be giving you when you're constantly around someone who creates emotional tension, confusion, and instability. One of the biggest signs is that you can never fully relax. You feel like you have to be careful with every word, every action, and every expression. You're constantly wondering what might trigger an argument, criticism, cold behavior, or emotional distance. Even when nothing is happening, your body still feels like something could happen at any moment. That constant tension can show up physically. You may notice tight shoulders, a clenched jaw, headaches, stomach discomfort, nausea, or a constant feeling of uneasiness. Your body may remain tense because your mind never truly feels safe enough to switch off. You might also notice that your sleep changes. You feel exhausted, but when you finally lie down, your mind refuses to rest. You replay conversations. You analyze their behavior. You wonder what you did wrong. You try to understand why the rules keep changing. This mental overload can leave you feeling drained before the day even begins. Another sign is that you become unusually alert around this person. You start watching their facial expressions, their tone of voice, and their mood. You notice every little change because you're trying to predict what comes next. Over time, this can make you feel like you're always walking on eggshells. And perhaps the most important sign is this. You no longer feel like yourself. You become quieter, more hesitant, more insecure. You second-guess simple decisions. You may even start apologizing for things that were never truly your responsibility. When someone repeatedly dismisses your feelings, twists conversations, or makes you question your own perspective, it can slowly affect the way you see yourself. That's why many people feel emotionally and physically exhausted after being around a highly stressful relationship dynamic for a long time. They're not just tired from one argument. They're tired from constantly trying to understand, explain, defend, and recover. You may also notice changes in your appetite, energy, mood, and overall motivation. Some people eat less when they feel overwhelmed. Others turn to comfort habits when they're emotionally exhausted. The important thing is to recognize that your body can respond to prolonged stress in many different ways. But here's the part many people don't expect. Sometimes, when you finally create distance from a constantly stressful person, you suddenly realize how tense you had been. You sleep better. You breathe more easily. Your mind feels quieter. Your shoulders begin to relax. You start laughing again. You begin to feel like the person you were before the confusion. That moment can be incredibly revealing. Your body is not always giving you a diagnosis, but it can give you signals that something in your environment is placing you under too much emotional pressure. And if you're experiencing ongoing physical or mental symptoms, it's always wise to speak with a qualified healthcare professional rather than assuming one person is the only cause. Remember, you do not have to constantly prove your worth, defend your reality, or live in a state of emotional tension just to keep a relationship going. Sometimes creating healthy distance is not about punishing anyone. It's about protecting your peace and giving yourself room to recover. If this message connected with your experience, like the video, subscribe, and stay with us for more conversations about toxic relationship patterns, emotional healing, and reclaiming your peace. And remember, this content is for education and awareness, not a diagnosis of any individual or relationship. Take care of yourself, trust your experiences, and keep watching TF.